This is the Black Agenda Morning Shot from Monday, September 27th, being brought to you by Kali Akuno in Atlanta, Georgia. Today we have some critical news and some commentary. We start with the FBI raid on several anti-imperialist activists in Minneapolis, Chicago, Michigan, and North Carolina on Friday, September 28th. Quoting from Colleen Rowley's excellent commentary on opednews.com, it reads, "The war on dissent rather than terrorism continued full stream with FBI SWAT teams breaking down doors at 7 a.m. Friday, September 24th. The morning raid of homes of several anti-war leaders and activists in Minneapolis, Chicago, and possibly a couple of other Midwest cities. Members of the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force spent a few hours at each Minneapolis residence, seizing personal photographs and papers, computers, and cell phones, as well as several federal grand jury subpoenas on the various activists. Obviously, the scathing review of post-9/11 FBI terrorism investigations targeting various peace and social justice groups completed by the Department of Justice Inspectorate General and just issued 4 days ago gave no pause to the FBI to reflect before continuing to do more of the same. Nor did accompanying media revelations about the FBI having improperly conducted surveillances of an anti-war rally in Pittsburgh, the Catholic Worker Peace magazine, a Quaker activist, the Thomas Merton Center in Pittsburgh, of members of the environmental group Greenpeace and People for Ethical Treatment of Animals, and of a small student group of anti-war activists in Iowa City, Iowa, who were targeted for 9 months in 2008. National news stories revealed that in one of the investigations, FBI Director Robert Mueller inadvertently provided a fabricated justification for the surveillance of an anti-war rally, quote unquote. As aptly noted by the Freedom Road Socialist organization, not to be confused with the activists targeted with an organization of a similar name, in their solidarity statement from Saturday, September 23rd, they quote, "The raid on multiple sites of an organization within our movement should alarm us all. It is a part of a growing government trend targeting the left. The FBI continues to stretch beyond all meaning the designation of terrorists in order to make wide sweeps and go on fishing expeditions with seemingly very little hard facts. Too often the designation of terrorists has been applied to organizations and movements seeking freedom and independence. For example, the ANC, or African National Congress, was on the terror list right up to the winning of its electoral victory in Azania in 1994. These raids and arrests have the effect of stifling dissent and foreclosing democratic rights of minority viewpoints. We should be concerned whether or not we agree with the politics of the targeted organization. The target of activists, as stated in the press release from the U.S. Palestinian Communities Network, quote, have done nothing wrong and are refusing to be pulled into conversations with the FBI about their political views or organizing against war and occupation. The activists are involved with many groups, including the Palestinian Solidarity Group, Students for a Democratic Society, the Twin Cities Anti-War Committee, the Columbia Action Network, the Freedom Road Socialist Organization Fight Back, and the National Committee to Free Ricardo Palmera, a Colombian political prisoner. For those of you who think this is just something the FBI and the government is doing to white left organizations, you would be mistaken. This assault is a dramatic example of a growing trend targeting left forces of all races and nationalities. Viewers should be aware of similar targeting initiatives against activists within the Black Liberation Movement since September 11th, including the targeting of the San Francisco 8 based on charges gained through torture, charges being leveled at the new Black Panther Party in Pennsylvania for allegedly committing voter intimidation, and the indictment of Diop Olugbala from the African People's Socialist Party for exercising his human right to question public officials in Philadelphia, and these are just a few examples. Contrast this with the tolerance of right-wing white supremacist forces currently arming themselves to the teeth, engaging in displays of intimidation throughout the country, including the open display of weapons at presidential appearances, and the clear acts of aggression as occurred in Oakland, California in July with a police gun battle with right-wing belligerent Byron Williams, who planned to assault the offices of the Tide Center and the ACLU in San Francisco. When you look at this in perspective, it becomes clear of whose interests are being served and whose interests are being protected. Learning from the experience of the 1960s, 70s, and 80s, activists throughout the country are encouraged to stay vigilant and learn your rights should an agent come knocking at your door. For more information on your rights, visit the website of the Center for Constitutional Rights and download their If an Agent Knocks handbook on the website. To stand in solidarity with the activists targeted on Friday and to send a clear message that targeting and intimidation won't be tolerated, visit the website of the Workers' World Party at www.workersworld.org or www.workers.org and join one of the more than 19 demonstrations being planned throughout the country this week. For the Black Agenda Report, this is Kali Akuno bringing you some news that you can use.